You have to pick one JJK character from Jujutsu High. Which one you're getting rid of?
You can't do that to me, Padbae. You can't. Uh, Whoa, we're recording. Welcome everyone to the Two Monkeys One Brain Cell podcast. My name is Crimson, and that is not GC.
Hi, I'm not GC.
That is Padbae. We are doing something. We are splitting the brain cells. So I decided to take on Padbae while GC decided to take on Heretic. If you're coming from the Heretic episode, welcome. If you are here for Padbae, I suggest you check out the Heretic episode. It'll be really interesting. So, how are we feeling today, Padbae?
Great, and it feels good being labeled as arguably the cuter pair of this matchup.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
We are the cuter pair. I keep telling GC that. He's like, no, I'm the cutie patootie. Me, it's me.
He's got a lovable charm for sure. But
He's got charm, but like I got the Riz. You know, freaking! I went to a gas station the other day, and I'll pull this out because we have a little bit of time to talk about this. I found the Rizzler on an Arizona can.
I've never even seen this. Who's the Rizzler? Who is that man?
Berry. I don't know what's in it. It's like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries.
Raspberries?
Raspberries, yeah. I actually like. I'm a little colorblind. It could not be like these glasses.
No, those look like raspberries.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So to introduce the topic of this episode, so I think dating is really interesting, and I think you see two men kind of talking about it. So why not bring someone else to kind of give their perspective on because the modern dating scene compared to like how it used to be is very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
For better or for worse. We'll say that.
I think I'm older than you, both of you.
Not by a lot.
31, 32?
I'm turning 29.
Okay. I guess, yeah. I've had a few more years in the dating field before, like, like dating applications and everything were a thing and all of that, and you just had to meet people the old-fashioned way online via Kik. So,
that's a great way to I don't even want to like put that those words out there, but Kik is not a safe place for kids, guys. Don't be on Kik.
No, it's not. Is it even a thing still?
It still does exist, but it's like softcore porn streaming.
Oh, wait, are we allowed to say that word? Because I avoided making a penis joke earlier. Because I don't know how many.
Honestly, at this point, like, I think the over censoring of the media like has gone too far. Like, if this episode gets demonetized because I said the P word,
just add an ooh in there. You know what I mean? Just censor it.
Yeah, that's gonna piss off GC.
Yeah, but I'll send you a soundbite.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, do you think there are any positives with like how modern dating is? Like, I could think of one, but like, do you think there are any positives of like the modern dating scene?
Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people will say that the positive is that you have a lot more like options, right? But I think that conversely leads to like option fatigue. You know what I'm saying? So like just when you're in the grocery store and you walk through the cereal aisle and being like, there's a lot here. Yeah. So you end up like kind of going with just the one that's like right at eyesight. And it's like, I've been eating this for like 6 months, so I guess I'll go with this. Versus, when you're not, I feel like it's one of those things where like when you're not looking for somebody and like someone kind of just like falls into your lap, not literally, but it could be literally. I think that's just like, I don't know. I think there's like too much choice when it comes to like Tinder and Hinge. Like I get overwhelmed just opening that app. Yeah. Like I can't do dating apps. It's just too much.
At one point, I was on like 8.5 dating apps.
Jesus, how did you survive? Do you have PTSD? Was it like a war zone?
I deleted most of them, but here's the thing: like, it's definitely skewed in a different way towards men, where like we don't get matches as frequently.
Oh yeah, if I swipe right, it's a match most times.
Oh, lucky you, lucky you. Um, but I think one positive thing I think in the modern dating scene that I don't think people like acknowledge enough is that I feel like the conversation about boundaries is much more evident, right? So like a big
Mm-hmm.
thing for me is I don't
Like
drink.
frequent
Like, it's more frequent, but I
or
feel like it's more
yeah.
openly discussed. I think,
Okay.
when I was like first exposed to like dating and whatnot and like starting off, that the whole conversation about boundaries was just like never touched, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there are more people that are open to talk about like, oh, this is like where I stop. Like for me, I can't drink. I don't want to be with someone that's consistently drinking all the time. Like that's personally my
Mm-hmm.
thing. And that is a boundary that I've set. And you either have people that are like, okay, um, I don't think that's going to work for me, and they leave, or like, oh, that's fine by me. There's no one trying to break that. Where I feel like when I was younger and dating, like I felt like I had to break a lot of boundaries, of my own boundaries,
Now
in order to feel open.
now do you feel like that is modern dating or just getting older?
I think it's
Like the
more
current conversation in
right.
general is like respect people's nose boundaries, etc.
Yeah,
I feel like that I don't know if that's necessarily modern dating or just maturing with people that you're also dating.
yeah. I think it is modern dating because I have a younger sister, and there's like a significant age gap between me and her. And the
Mm-hmm.
conversations they're having about boundaries were conversations I didn't have when I was her age. I think
Okay,
the
that's good to
language
know.
of
That's good.
dating. Oh no,
That
that's
feels
great
good.
to know. Honestly, like as an
Yeah.
overprotective older brother, like I'm glad that she's able to establish boundaries. But
Mm-hmm.
like, what do you think is like your main pet peeve, like when it comes to the modern dating scene?
Um, main pet peeve. I mean, definitely like the apps in general are like a fucking pain. I hate them. But I would say, okay, so my background, I'm fairly educated. I went to a top 100 university and all of that, in a very challenging field. And we talked about it last episode. Go check it out. It'll be linked down in the description.
Episode 10.
Yeah, I have a pharmacology or pharmacological chemistry degree,
Mhm.
biochemistry, organic chemistry, like masters. That's what I'm working in finishing. And whenever I put my education on these dating sites, oh my God, the main thing that I would get is, oh, if you're really in that, or if that's really like what you're learning, like that's pretty awesome. Like that's good. It's like almost a denial of my education right
Right.
off the bat, or just being like, oh, like you're too smart, blah, 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 blah. Or like people that are like smart. And I say that because they're not necessarily educated. They sure have like they have a lot of intellectual interests, and that's not a bad thing. But they get like weirdly defensive of their intelligence, which I really don't care. Like I think people have intelligence all in their own right.
Right.
But they would try to demean me because I went to school for my learning. They're like, I didn't need that. I was disciplined and I did it by myself, not in school. Brother, so I don't even talk about me being educated when I'm like in the dating scene
Yeah.
whatsoever. Like, did you go to school? Yeah, I did. Well, I'm not going to talk about it though. It's just a time.
Yeah. I think for me, it's race. Like I am, a South Asian person growing up in 9/11 America.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like when I do get a match and like they start being on some bullshit about like, oh, you're like Balji. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Balji from Phineas and Ferb? Very
No.
stereotypical Indian kid. Like he
Oh,
talks
I'm
like
so
this and
sorry.
he's so concerned about his grades. I can't do that. Like
I'm so sorry. That's so sad to hear.
it's always it's very weird, like, and I like Phineas and Ferb, and like the creators did later apologize about the characterization of Balji, but that character has set brown boys back so far.
Now, is that also something that you would consider modern dating? Because I know that that's kind of stuff like microaggressions and all
Right.
that have been a thing for
Yeah.
even since I was a kid. I've experienced it in my own
Right.
background that I don't go into here on the internet, but like I've received those as well. And I don't know if that's a modern dating thing or just racists are racists.
I think it's a modern dating thing because I think there's this like level of, the whole thing of like, oh, people just can't take a joke, right? That's kind
Hmm.
of been increasing in our like current day and age of stuff like that. But like, because we're seeing this age of like people that saw these, more racist caricatures of
Hmm.
brown people, and they're now becoming adults and they think it's okay because like, oh, you grew up in that time. Like you can understand what I mean when I say, oh, you remind me of Baljeet. Like it
Yeah.
kind of transcends with the people that are growing up with that concept.
Yeah, and I'm sure those people would also say, "Oh, don't worry about grandma. She just grew up in a different
Yeah,
time."
oh
Like,
yeah, yeah. Like not to get super racial about it, but that's why I typically don't date like white women. It's just like that conversation
yeah,
always
I don't
comes
blame
up.
you. I wouldn't date me either. No, but in general, like I can understand I won't date white men for the same reason. Like
Yeah.
it's very much there's I don't like for the most part. Sorry, white men watching this, if I'm generalizing you, but for the most part, a lot of the white men that I've ever matched with, they have been racist and they say racist jokes, and I'm like, that didn't land. That was awful. Like, explain that. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And they're always defensive, and it's
Mhm.
just like, oh my god, I was I was on going on a date with a dude. This is when I was in college, so it's a long time ago.
Right.
But he insisted on being on the phone while I was driving to said date. And I'm like, okay, fine. And we were going to a predominantly Asian area to go
Hmm.
eat.
Yeah.
And as I was parking, he made a racial joke as I was still in the car. And I'm like, just reverse that. Just let's leave. And I'm like, are you for
Bye.
I was like, what the hell? Like everything else was so nice
Right.
until that point, and I was just like, Jesus.
Mhm. So that
So,
actually kind of loops into a later talking point, but I want to bring it up now. When and should politics matter when you're dating?
oh,
I've,
it matters 100%
right.
from start to end. Like,
Yeah.
it matters. Like, I genuinely, when we talk about the political field today, it is a matter of morals.
Right.
Like, morally, I will never align with someone who is right leaning.
Mhm.
And that really does invade every aspect of a relationship. If you cannot have empathy for people in a different socioeconomic status than you, different background than you, if you cannot show basic empathy for them, how are you going to show empathy for me when I'm hurt by your actions?
Right.
Like it's just it's very sorry, right leaning stuff is very, very self-centered. It is a
Mhm.
very individualistic perspective on society and say me,
Mhm.
me, me. I could never, ever, ever live with myself voting to throw, rip families apart, throw innocent people in prison just so I could have a cheaper meal. That is
Yeah.
absolutely disgusting to me. And
Right.
if people can do that, then like no, like no, I cannot. I do not have anything in common with that person. So it matters. Like that's the first question that I ask.
Yeah. Okay. So that was gonna be my follow up. Like, okay, when do you bring it up?
Oh yeah, no, it is talked about. Like,
Yeah.
and I'll maybe do it a little subtly in saying like, so how do you feel about like the current political climate, or like how you know do you feel like let's bring up the train car like metaphor of like are you gonna pull the lever and kill three people or one person or whatever, like I'm just like trying to gauge to see like morally, and then if I'm starting to feel like it's a little iffy, I'll just be straight up and ask,
Mhm.
because the last thing I want is to like be dating someone for like 6, 7, 8 months, and then it comes out that they voted for Donald Trump three
Right.
times in a
Oh
row.
yeah. That's always like I knew someone that was dating somebody for I think like 4 or 5 years and was doing the whole like, yeah, I like immigrant rights or human rights, things like that. And then all of a sudden, which flips, most racist person I've ever met. I'm like, what is going on? And
Hmm.
I think I'm a big proponent of like whoever you associate with is like how you really are. That's why I try like if your boyfriend's racist, you are also racist.
Yeah,
You
because why are
know?
you tolerating it?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I've had so many friends that would start dating terrible people and I would cut them off because they were like,
Good for
"Oh,
you.
but like he's like so nice to me." Yeah, Bethany, he doesn't like black people. Stop.
Yeah. Like he drops the N-word like once a day at the very least, Bethany.
Oh, that's like,
Yeah.
you know how GC and I are. We are very politically charged people, and I
Hmm.
just couldn't see myself who like something that's more disturbing to me than like a conservative like person is someone who just chooses to be apolitical, right?
That's a privilege in and of itself to be able to
Yeah.
ignore politics
Hmm. And
because
politics
you
will do
know
you
that.
regardless. Sorry
Yeah,
about
it's just
that.
like no, you're fine. You're fine. It's like genuinely, if you're able to sit there and say like, "Oh, I just don't really keep up with it," it's
Mhm.
because it doesn't affect you.
Right.
Like it's because you're in that privileged seat where people are voting for your interests at the very least. Like at least you're not being, you know, hunted down by a
Yeah.
massed armed force.
Right.
Um, like girl, like you're still getting absolutely but I was gonna say booty finagled um, by getting your taxes
Yeah.
increased and to
Right.
help cushion the pockets of the corporate elite. But they don't see that.
What am I to say?
It's, yeah, no, it's genuinely politics has been one of those things that's very aggravating. I would not tolerate friends who are like that are right leaning and stuff like that. Why would I ever tolerate
Yeah.
like yeah, a Republican for a partner?
I think a lot of people are like, oh, that shouldn't matter. It's like about two people that love each other. Like further down the line, it is going to come up when you have a
Hmm.
kid, you know, when you decide to move into a new neighborhood, when your kid, like is creating their own identity. Are you going to love them or are you going to let your politics get in the way? And
Yeah.
I wish more people recognize that. So we're going to transition to a more fun conversation. I think we were kind of
I'm
talking about this in the
getting
chat.
heated.
Um, it's the princess treatment versus like the 50-50 thing.
Oh yes, yes. The bare minimum princess treatment, 50-50, yes.
Right.
Um Genuinely, I think it's a really good conversation. And we were talking
Mhm,
about boundaries earlier and being
mhm,
like, I feel like that's one of those things where it's a matter of expectations and communicating expectations. That
mhm.
is a big thing.
Right.
Um so like some people might consider things bare minimum, some people might consider things princess treatment. So it's good to have like a good idea about where you sit with that.
Right.
Have you seen any that is like, like a list of like I've seen some wild like bare minimums where it's just
Right.
like, oh god, what's one? I'm trying to pull one off the top of my head that I've seen.
I've seen ones where
Oh,
it's just
like I
like
feel
pay
like
my rent, you know what I mean?
oh yeah, I
Provide for me.
it's definitely monetary stuff that it's always like,
Yeah.
oh, that's bare minimum. Um But like for me, I'm like maybe it's princess treatment, but I like when the doors are opened for me.
No, that's
Like I
just
appreciate chivalry.
I don't think that's princess treatment. I think that's just
Some
some
people do
polite
consider it.
really.
Some people consider that princess treatment.
Like GC opens the door for me and I feel like one of my big things, and I think it leans towards the whole monetary thing, right? Is that I hear a lot about people who have partners, like specifically, men, because I'm a guy and I talk to more men than I do women sometimes. And they feel like they aren't appreciated enough because, they're buying gifts, but they don't see that same level of reciprocation back,
Hmm.
you know? And I think that's what like comes with I think the more the definition of princess treatment that a lot of men see is just like, okay, am I just like spoiling this girl versus like, oh, am I going to be appreciated back? At this point, the awkward video is out. He has this, he's quoting someone else, but he said a relationship isn't 50-50. It is the sum of 100.
Hmm.
And I think that's
Yeah.
such a like a good measurement. Cause like there are gonna be days where like you're gonna be at 20 and like it'd be great to have a partner that's at 80 versus like, okay, maybe my partner's at a 30, let me be at a 70 for them.
Hmm.
And I think I want you to kind of talk more about compromise because I think like you were going on a very good tangent. I rudely interrupted you. So if you want to talk more about like the compromise of relationships, I think I would
Oh,
love
I
to hear
forget.
that. You forget-
I forget what was I saying.
you were talking about like okay, like what's
Yeah.
it like about communication and compromise and where establishing boundaries.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it's like the I guess like we're talking about the opening doors thing. I have a hot take in what I do in my like relationships. I've pretty much always done this since I've worked for like on my own, right? Since I've had a job. In a relationship, I we always communicate like, hey, holidays coming up, like a mutual gift giving holiday, take Christmas or whatever, like Valentine's
Valentine's.
Day. It's like, hey, this is my budget. This is what I'm going to be spending. I would like to make sure that we're matching or similar so one doesn't exceed the other and one feels unappreciated. So let's come up with a compromised like budget that we're working with. So
Right.
that way we both I feel like it's always made gift giving feel a little equal. And I've never really had issues with like the reciprocity in that regard kind of
Yeah.
being and then for anniversaries like it's always like okay first anniversary is like $50 then we go to 100 then we
Right.
like we always try to like maximize for anniversaries
Yeah,
right
because those are just like big milestones, right?
yeah and those are
Yeah.
like usually a shared cost so there's like the gift and then the actual date
Yeah. Oh,
portion of
that's
it
honestly that's such a good like for lack of better terms business model when it comes to relationships. So like a big thing for me and like how I kind of do dates is that typically like I do the gentleman thing and I pay for it, right? But there's like levels to
very
so like
sweet
I currently don't have a car, but it's like okay, we need to drive
mm-hmm.
to this place. I will pay for the parking, like I will pay for the food and everything. So that way, like it kind of balances it out. And like I'm willing
Mm-hmm.
to openly communicate on like, okay, how do we want to split things? Because I think currently in this financial situation, it's tough to like be in love.
yeah
I'm
yeah
working on
and
a teacher salary. Like you can't.
no and I don't blame you I had a conversation with a friend recently who is pretty down in the dumps about he felt like a little like embarrassed to say that, being in the dating field and saying like, oh, I'm still living with my parents or anything like that. Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of shame around finances in dating. And I'm just like, it's one of those things where it's like, if they are so like blind to the current financial situation, like that's
Right.
insane. Because like housing is insane. The rent it's a crisis. Like I feel
Yeah.
like if they are not compassionate towards you in that, and like there's really no shame, but if they like look down on you for that, would you want to be with them anyway?
No. Yeah.
Like genuinely, it sounds like a really shit person that really is only in it for like what can you do for me, and that's not how a relationship is supposed to work. Like
Yeah.
I want someone that I'm like, even when times are tough, I'm having a good time with them, I'm laughing with them, I'm enjoying their presence, I feel supported and loved and like safe. And that all has to do with not monetary things, but rather like that relationship, that connection with another human is held to such a high like regard that everything else like that's whatever. Like I know I have a safe space with my person. So if they're judging you for your financial status, like kind of fuck off.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like they're not necessary to have around.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a very good way to look at it. I keep on telling people like, look, houses don't cost a ham and cheese croissant anymore. Hey, it's not that
Yeah.
cheap to have a house. Trust me, if
Mm-hmm.
I could have a house, if I could provide for my wife, I would. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need your $600 for rent.
It's
You
just
know?
it's a matter of the fact that like everyone's struggling and like most everyone's hoping for a collapse in the housing market so that there could be like something available. But the truth is like we hold like what is it like this stats show like 4% of United States wealth like versus our grandparents had 41% of
Right.
the wealth. Um, our parents 21%, and then we have four. Gen Z is even worse off. Like
Me,
it
Gen Z.
just Yeah, so it's like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I'm a millennial.
I'm on that cutoff
um,
point, so it's like it's really
that
weird.
cutoff.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those things, like, you just have to accept that you're probably not going to have your way paid for unless they are part of that corporate elite or, you know, got very, very lucky in their standards or invested really well. Like I'm trying to, like as a mom, I'm trying to make sure that like I can see where the economy is going.
yeah,
So for me, I'm trying to set up a Roth IRA for my kid now so that by the
right.
time he gets to retirement age, he has a retirement. Because right now it looks like we probably won't have anything. Social Security is probably going to be gone. So I'm like, time in the market is the most important thing. So I'm
Right.
like trying to create his portfolio and trying to do Roth IRA for him so that he has something. And that's like the most that I can do as a mom. Like,
Yeah.
just make sure that he's set.
Right.
Um, but it's like, dude, the economy is wild. I feel like you can't have too high of an expectation for economic status in this day and
Yeah.
age. Go to Silicon Valley if you're really chasing for some money.
Make some like what was that one scam where like they did the blood scan and it's like able to tell like all the DNA. Amanda Seyfried was doing was in like a movie or show talking about that specific like. If I remember, I'll put it over here. So we're talking about wild. What is your wild take or like hot take that you think many people might not agree with you
In the dating field,
in the dating field? Yeah. Yeah, in general, maybe yeah, in the dating field, I think would be like. But if you want to give your like just general wild take, I'm opening the floor to you. You know.
I'm trying to keep it like on topic. So I'm like, one of my other hot takes would be that the saying like you must like heal yourself before you get into dating or whatever is kind of a load of crap. Like genuinely, this is another conversation that I had recently where it's just like I don't think there's ever like 100% healed.
Right.
Like there truly there's no 100% healed person. What you're doing when you are healing yourself is you're learning to control the initial feelings, process them, and respond healthily so that you don't damage other people. But that pain is always going to linger there. It's just learning to cope with it and not
Right.
have that transfer out, right? And not like just bottling it up. You're actually processing it.
Mhm.
Now, people say like, "Oh, you have to be healed before you go down in the dating field because you don't want to like traumatize other people," which is like it's a good sentiment. However, these learning to control your actions and your reactions, you need to have the stressor. You need to have the initial trigger to happen. And sometimes those triggers can only happen in a relationship.
Right.
So some healing has to be done with other people. Just as you
Mhm.
had to heal your reactions with friendships and managing those relationships, you're going to have to learn how to do that in a romantic because it is a different standard.
Mhm.
There's some people out there that think, friendship and relationship are different based because just of sex or whatever. But I really don't think that's the case. I think there's a deeper level of trust and expectations and a need for safety and a need for comfort than you would with your friends. So yeah, you're going to have to put yourself out there even when you don't feel 100% ready, like or healed. And you're going to just have to take it one step at a time and really just monitor yourself and really work hard on healing yourself while in a relationship because not everything can be done internally.
Right.
That's my hot take. Some people don't like that hot take, but
That was so eloquent. And I definitely agree with you. I think that's I never thought of it that way. You know, because I think like a relationship is a new simulation. It is a new experience you're having, and you don't
mm,
get that through like self healing. That is
yeah,
a
you can journal all you want, babe.
but
But
you're making
you're gonna be
hypotheticals for
triggered.
yourself. This is the real world, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like you
Right.
just have to actually, and that's part of like a phenomena where I've seen recently, where it's like people that over they're so good at understanding themselves psychologically. They know why they do the things that they do. They react the way that they react. They can process it and break it down but that's as far as it goes.
Right.
Like, because they said, oh, well, I've identified it, that's all we gotta do. But no, it's really like actually going out there and getting that triggered and then processing it like in the moment when those feelings are, because it's easy to like look back and say X, Y, and Z is why I do what
Right.
I do. But moving through those emotions in a healthy way, processing them, and then reacting healthily, that's vastly different.
I'm just at a loss for words. Like you like, oh wow, that was really good. I really enjoyed your answer. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
I think mine, I don't know why it's a hot take, but I feel like it should be like you need to have an identity outside of your relationship. And if you are consistently relying on your partner as your personality, things will go awry, right? Like I have
Yes.
a lot of passions. You know, I love monkeys, I love Pokemon, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, I love Power Rangers. Like these are things that like are very much me.
Mm.
And like I would like my partner to have interests that don't like intersect with mine. Not to say that she can't like monkeys or Power Rangers, but I wanted to like experience what she sees, like what she loves in her like sphere of the world. And you know,
Hmm.
I'm thinking back to if you know about Ned Fulmer and that whole situation
Yes, I
where
do.
he established himself as the wife guy, and then
Hmm.
when that was gone, no one likes him because like okay, my whole identity is
There's
like
nothing
I
left.
love my wife, I love my wife, and then you got
Hmm.
caught cheating, brother. Like what wife?
I heard he got caught cheating again with a different person he's
Again?
been dating. I'm pretty sure I saw that headline just today.
I know his like dating profile on a kink like dating site got leaked.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
Yikes.
look, you can be on those sites, but people should
Hmm.
know you're a cheater, and you can't get upset when people find out you're a cheater.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, I know Facebook pages like "Are we dating the same guy?" have gotten a bad rap, and for valid reasons. But I think when it comes to like habitual cheaters, because they do have unprocessed trauma that they're refusing to like look into,
Right.
um, that should be known because of the
Mhm.
fact. And here's my take on it. I feel like when someone cheats and like they're a habitual cheater and I know that they're dating someone else, I will give them a fair warning because at that point, habitual cheaters are running the risk of someone else's health for their
Right.
own benefit. And that's where I have to draw the line and be like,
Mhm.
that should be talked about more
Excuse me.
freely. And it's like, yes, it might be considered drama or whatever, but it's just like, genuinely, people's healths are at risk. Like,
Yeah.
I've known plenty of dudes that have never gotten tested in their lives and will sleep around and bring something home to their partners that, don't deserve that. They don't deserve that because a lot of these things have plenty of complications. I mean, just like genital warts having complications for ovarian cancer, or is it cervical?
Right.
It's cervical cancer.
Cervical cancer. Yeah.
Um, so it's like, God, like that's one thing where I'm like, those pages have some good.
Please,
That's another hot take.
please get tested. Please get tested. Um,
Oh, every 6 months.
every six
Every six
months.
months.
Even on the interim when you're not seeing people, please.
Or even in long-term relationships.
Yeah.
Because they have long incubation periods. They can just show up randomly. So it could
Right.
be, you know, months and months and months later that you are actually there and you're asymptomatic, but it can be testable.
Okay.
So
Speaking of like long periods of time, I want to kind of talk about like when you first started dating versus now. Where do you think you have changed for the better, or like how different do you think the person like you were when you like were first starting like the concept of relationships versus like now in the current age? Like where do you think there's a change?
um okay. Well, I mean, obviously like there's a huge change of me being a mom,
Yeah.
right? A huge change of me being a mom. That has drastically changed like how and let me spill out my own beans here for a fucking moment.
Right.
um I was one of those people that I had a hard time staying single. Like, I very much had very short relationship periods in
Yeah.
between before I was a mom. Um, it's just something that I don't know. Like I felt like I always needed to have somebody. Like I felt like stuff wasn't complete.
Mhm.
So that's definitely one of like my main issues that I have myself dating.
Right.
And now as a mom, I'm just like I don't want to do that
Mhm.
because I'm going to affect my son. I don't want him to get connected to a person just for them to leave a few years later and
Right.
then a new person and not have him be able to process that as well. So for the dating scene, I've just really kept, I've talked to people, and if I felt like it didn't work, then it's just like, cut that, let me chill by myself for a little bit. Like I've kept things very, very slow paced with anybody that I have talked to. And then for the most part, just stayed by myself, not really talking to anybody,
Right.
just because I'm prioritizing my relationship with my son. And then again, like I'm learning myself as a new person outside of a relationship and as a mom. And that's a whole different thing. Like you go through a process called matrescence when you become a mom. And it's like going through a second adolescence period where you're figuring yourself out. You change so much physically, but also internally, where
Mhm.
you have different interests, you have different, you know, ways of processing things. Like your brain is completely haywire,
Right.
and it's learning to rediscover yourself again. So now it's like processing it differently in the dating field of being like, what do I want? I want more stability. I want more like easygoing and not like I will say I'm an Aries. I love the drama. I love a
Hey,
little
Aries.
fight. Yeah. I love a little like dramatic fight here and there
Yeah, of
sometimes.
course.
But it's all for fun for the most part. Are you a
Right.
fight for fun type person? Because I'm a fight
Yo,
for fun type
oh,
person.
you should see how I am with GC. I'm always
Exactly.
causing issues because I
hmm I,
can.
yeah, I like to poke the bear a little bit. I like to be just a little oop, 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 oop. I'll annoy you just a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's very different for me. I used to be like a serial sleeper, like typical fuckboy film guy. Like that was my
hmm
identity. Like and GC met me when I was in that phase. If you like
hmm
look at that guy then and then like me now, it's very different. Like things have slowed down for me so much. I am past the point of just like sleeping around. I am, almost
hmm
30. I want to be in something stable. I want consistency. That fast paced like sleep life was like my like young adulthood and like now. Like that's gone. I don't need that. My back hurts. My knee hurts. I don't like my body can't handle
Clock it.
that, right? I work with
Clock it.
special needs
I,
kids.
well,
Like
that's
I
why I
need to
work
have
out, but
like I need to be like able to keep up with that. I don't need to keep up with like petty
hmm
relationship drama, you
yeah.
know? And it's tough like on the apps too, where like, you meet people who say they want something long term, something that might be like a little bit more concrete, and then they just don't put in the work to make it concrete. You don't need concrete, you
Oh
need
my god.
water to mix it to make it solid.
And that's one thing. Like a lot of people do not understand the amount of effort it takes to maintain a long-term relationship.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's wild. Um, I for the most part have always had long-term relationships, like 3 years and all of that. So it's
Yeah.
the 3 year mark is always really rough. That is a very, very rough time. I don't know if anyone else can like relate to that. It's like the 3, 5, 7 year marks is always super like something
Six
crazy
and
happens during that 6, 7. Um,
I'm
something
sorry.
crazy always
I'm sorry
happens
this
during that
happens.
time. No, you're fine. You're fine. Something crazy always happens during that time. And like you have to really be able to like as shitty as it sounds, like really like hate your partner and then learn to get over that.
Right.
Like, and that takes a lot of work. A lot of people quit after it gets a little rocky.
Yeah. I think people like that was gonna be like one of the other things where I was gonna like talk about like what's the difference between like this is something worth breaking up for versus just like that's just them. Like I wouldn't break up with someone because they snore.
Yeah, and okay, so here's something that, I've, since becoming a mom and thinking about going back into the dating field, right? It was I've tolerated a lot of really poor behaviors
Mhm.
in my previous relationships. Um and it's it's sad to say, if you are someone that does tolerate really poor behaviors and disrespect, it's probably because you do not respect yourself or love
Mm,
yourself
mm.
enough. And so what I did when I became single and as a mom, I was like, I don't know if I really want to get into dating and all that. It's just, I want to be able to hold a promise to myself. There's like certain things, like, yes, I was able to do a lot of the like resolutions that I wanted to do, but when it came to me in a relationship, I'm very self-sacrificing.
Right.
That is a huge issue that I have. I'm very, very, very self-sacrificing to a fault. And I know that that causes resentment eventually, because I am putting in so much effort. I feel it's not reciprocated because those
Mhm.
expectations weren't talked about.
Right.
And then I can't keep up with it because I'm, getting resentful. And then that leads to a breaking point, a fracture. So I'm like, I need to be able to make a promise to myself and keep that for 30 days. It's just
Right.
and this is an exercise you can do at home if you are self sacrificing. Make a small promise to yourself that you are going to do every single day. Um, Something that you can add into your routine, something easy, something low effort, but you have to commit to 30 days of doing it for yourself. So like for me, it
Mhm.
was like making my bed. I never made
Right.
my bed unless it was for stream.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to make a promise to myself. I'm going to make my bed every single day for me. And so then
Right.
I just did it every single day for 30 days. And I was like, I can't keep a promise to myself. Like, I don't have to sacrifice myself. Like, I can show care and love to myself.
Right.
It's a very powerful exercise. I know it sounds a little stupid for some people maybe listening. Really, like, learning to keep a promise to yourself is a good way of recognizing whether you want to break up for valid reasons or because you've just reached a breaking point and you can't name why.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like snoring, it's like, okay, yeah, it could be like snoring, like maybe it's a lack of sleep, but like it could just be all the little things that tallied up in however much time period during a relationship, that's just the straw on the camel's back, right?
Yeah.
Like that is just the final thing. Like maybe you were able to tolerate the snoring at the beginning of the relationship because you weren't resentful.
Right. Wow.
And that's what I realized with myself, is I was tolerant of these things because I wasn't resentful until I got resentful, and I
Mm.
didn't know why I was resentful all the time. But it's just one of those things when I have to communicate, hey, I'm starting to feel like the workload, like I'm doing too much work. I need to, focus on myself in the relationship. Or I say plain out, I'm starting to get a little resentful. Can we talk about it? Like, name these feelings, name why it's happening, then talk about it. The
Right.
talking part is the part that people forget about.
Mhm.
It's like you really gotta, like, when you're in a partnership, this is forever, the whole life thing. Like, that's what you're
Yeah.
aiming for, right? You have to learn how to communicate with your partner and work as a team in order
Right.
to get through these problems.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest pet peeve. It's when people can't communicate.
Mhm.
Like, even if they feel like it's not worth communicating, I was like, I'd much rather know how you're feeling than not. I would
Right.
rather, even if you feel like you can process it on your own and you don't have to talk to me, I want to hear about it. I want to know what's going on inside your head. I want to know
Yeah.
what I did. And I want to be able to improve myself so that it's better. It's a better time for you, because I hate to see you upset, even if it's just
Right.
for a moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I want to work on it. But
So I kind of want to get a bit deeper, if you
mhm.
don't mind me getting a bit deeper. What
I'm
do
a
you?
12th house Pisces placements and 5 planets. I'm all about deep sex joke.
I'm okay.
Sorry.
I'm just a curious guy. Call me George. Um, what do you think is your biggest personal hangup when it comes to dating?
Personal hang up. Can you clarify what you mean by that?
Like, what do you think is something that like holds you back every time you're with somebody new? Like you are with somebody and things are going great, but there is always this little thing that is like really holding you back from expanding it and making it more. Do you feel like you ever have
Hmm.
those? Because I have a big one. I want to know if you have it, have one like that, something like that.
I guess for me, it's like any sort of lack of drive. Like I don't like stagnation. So when people give me any sort of hint that they're okay with just kind of like not growing in any regard. Now that could be career,
Right.
whatever, or that could be learning a new skill, like, or developing something that they've been wanting to do. Like I like to see growth in a personal aspect of some sort. Like I want to see growth. I don't like still water. I don't like it gets icky. It gets icky real quick.
Yeah.
And so I will say that's a big hang up when I start to like be like, "Oh, so like what are you working on right now? Like what big goals do you have?" And they're like, "I don't know." It's just like it's an ick. It's an ick.
Right. I think for me, it's whenever someone has this lack of, maybe emotional intelligence is the wrong word, but I feel like there should be your partner's not your therapist. Don't get me wrong. Like your partner should not be your
Mhm,
therapist. Get a therapist if you need a therapist. But
mhm,
I want to be able to have a shoulder to cry on, right? Trigger warning. I'm gonna be talking about some. Throughout a lot of my relationships, I was essayed by my
I'm
partner.
so sorry.
And it took a lot of adjusting to do, right? And like I would talk about it, and like because that's I'm told, we're told, men are told, hey, it's okay to be, emotionally available and to be honest about your feelings. But it's so difficult to do that when for almost all your life you're told you can't. And when you
Mm,
do, you're labeled as sassy or, uh, you should have liked it because like, it's like the interaction, like men like that or like other things like that. And when I feel any hint of like, you're not going to be there for me emotionally, I am out of there because I think
yeah.
it's so important because like I, you know, unfortunately, like I carry trauma from past relationships and past
Hmm.
interactions that I've had. And when you take on this relationship, you're taking on the pain of that. I'm going to a therapist, I'm seeing somebody right now, but it's still an uphill battle. And I would like a little bit of support. And if I don't
Yeah.
think you can give that to me, like I'm out of the water. Like you can't keep me there. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
so we are running a little bit low on time, unfortunately. I honestly
Oh
like
no.
I really enjoyed having you on the 10th episode. It was so I wish I could have made the episode 2 hours, but we're kind of
Yeah.
constricted on time.
It is what it is.
Right. But maybe we'll have you because there was another topic we were gonna talk about. Maybe we'll do an episode on that. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see,
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Um what is one thing you could tell yourself, like with the knowledge you know now? Um what would you tell the younger you when it comes to like relationships and dating?
Um, Genuinely prioritize your friendships more than your romantic relationships.
Mhm.
In the end, those are going to be a lot of the ones that really help you through the worst times of your life. And while it's great to have a partner that can be there for those moments, your friends are really, really important, especially when you're in the ages of like middle school, high school, college. Prioritize friendships during that
Mhm.
point. That's
Yeah.
what I would tell myself.
That's good. I think for me, it's gonna don't see like intimacy as love. You know,
Hmm.
just because they
That's a good
might
one.
want you physically, like you should be loved in all fronts,
Hmm.
right? And that's a big
Absolutely.
thing. Don't stop being a fuckboy. Also, like don't do that. No. It's crazy because I've mellowed out from being like the player film major, like, oh, I'm trying to
Hmm.
understand you on a deeper level versus like, me as someone who works with special needs kids and like, back away, bad
Yeah.
touch, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Padme, thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for
Again,
having me.
great to have you. Like, we might need to split the brain cell a little bit more. I feel like when we have these, like, don't get me wrong, I love you, GC, but this was just as fun. Maybe we gotta give him.
This was
Maybe
a
we gotta
great
give him the
time.
boot. Maybe we gotta give him the boot.
Maybe we just mute his mic so he can only give give a
We're
little.
on the. It's the Aries. It's the Aries.
He's always being bullied by his Aries counterparts. I swear.
Yeah. When he doesn't have Padme, I pick up the weight.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
Locked
you.
in. Locked for life. Well, hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.